Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. And another idea came to me yesterday. I was looking on the internet at some of the old comic book ads that they used to have for various novelty items like X ray specs, soap that would turn your skin black, chewing gum that had pepper in it, hot chewing gum, sneezing powder, even movie projectors. They had cheap versions of movie projectors as well. Um, 6 foot tall Frankenstein figures, all kinds of various things. And the of course the sea monkeys, and I believe I did a video on that one. But anyway, one of the things that really caught my attention was back from like 19 from what I was reading from 1968 to 1972, people could order a live monkey. I kid you not. A live monkey, squirrel monkey, imported from South America. And I was looking at some stories on people that actually ordered them. A lot of kids would do that and not tell their parents and try to sneak them into the house. And of course, that didn't last very long. Parents would find out about them, but from what I understand, they would come get delivered in a box about the size of a shoe box with a little wire, like chicken wire or something, and you could see the monkey's head when you receive the box. Anyway, you get that monkey out of the box. Those monkeys were problems, from what I understand. People had all kinds of problems with them. Anyway, they were feisty. They weren't easy to control. They could get away easily. Hard to catch. That's what I understand. But I did read some stories of some people that actually ordered them as kids, and ultimately, for the most part, those monkeys either died or, in a lot of cases, especially mother, would would give them to the animal shelter, or the parents would donate them to the local zoo. That's what ultimately happened to a lot of them. But I read that in between that time frame, over 173,000 of those monkeys were imported into the United States. Excuse me. And 1973 laws changed where prohibiting the import of exotic animals into states. What I heard, there are three states that still allow people to have exotic animals that passed in there: Alabama, Nevada, and North Carolina. Interesting. I don't know if it's still the case. I was watching one person's YouTube video discussing that. One of the things I do see on some of these YouTube videos is people using a lot of profanity on their videos, and I do not use profanity on my shows. I don't want that. I don't want that reputation, and I just don't think there's any reason for it. And a lot of people don't like to hear it. I don't like to hear it myself, so I don't do it myself. I don't use that language on my show. I don't know. I don't know. Some people might like hearing it. I for one do not. But anyway, that it was kind of an interesting story about those monkeys. I would never imagine something like that happen. I mean, that's gotta be cruel, putting those things in a little shoe box and size box, and have them in captivity for I don't know how long before arriving to their destination, wherever it was. And I did see some other ads where the monkeys would come from an animal farm in Florida and would be shipped from Florida. So I don't know. Interesting story, but yeah, hard to believe. I know one thing. I really didn't have any desire to have a monkey. My parents wouldn't have allowed it anyway, so that would never happened. But if I had succeeded in sneaking one into the house, it would have been discovered real quick, and it wouldn't have stayed there. That's for sure. It would have been gone real fast. Anyway, that was an interesting thing to discuss, and like I said before, looking for ideas on shows to do, shows about preserving history, especially obscure aspects of history. That being said, like, subscribe, share. As always, thanks for watching.